Hi guys, it's Lisa from A Bag Lady Journals, and I am going to do a flip through today of my current junk journal that I've been using for, I think, since October. So let's take a look. I made this cover from paper bag, and you scrunch it up real good. You dip it in water, you add like a ton of conditioner, you let it dry, you do it again, scrunch it up really good. And it is to look and appear and feel a little bit like a leather cover. So I made this a few years ago, and what we have here is this entire journal is just, although the journal this is sewn together, it's actually just put in with elastic. So this will come out when I'm finished, and I will still have this cover that I can use for other journals. So yeah, so this is made mostly from paper bags and from pages from books and just paper that I have left over from other journals, from books, and from, I don't even know if I have scrapbook paper in here. I don't think I do. Let's get started. Let's have a look. So in true junk style, I always have like little doodads in the little pocket at the front. This was a shopping bag, and it's got kind of a different texture, and I liked the flowers, so I thought, well, let's use it. Let's do it. Oh, I do remember now, I did pick up a free brochure at a really, really beautiful store. They have they make brochures for their products, and it's like a seasonal brochures. So this one was, I believe, their winter brochure, and you could see the products. I mean, the pictures are very pretty. So I actually didn't even cover a lot of these pages. I just took the book apart and inserted in different places, as you do with the folding journal style. So I wrote down inside spooky season and beyond. So yes, I did start this book around midway or early October. And what I've done in here is just like any of my junk journals. I sometimes will write notes, ideas. I will, whatever's going on at the time. This is a little sketch I did of Diane Keaton. She passed away at the end of September, I believe it was, and I don't think I appreciated her as much as I realized, because when she was gone, it just felt like an empty sort of feeling, and it dawned on me just how much I loved some of her movies, especially Annie Hall, and of course one that I have watched, I don't want to admit how many times. I can't even think of the name of it. It's ridiculous. But I wrote a little journaling here about seeing a video of her on YouTube, and it was one of her first interviews with with the late night host Johnny Carson. And she was quite young. I think she was like 25 or something. And you sort of see just how unique she really was. And right from the beginning, I guess I didn't realize that her persona in Annie Hall was actually really her. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. Let's continue. But yes, rest in peace, Diane Keaton. She was wonderful. And the movie I'm thinking of is her with Jack Nicholson, Something's Gotta Give. I love that so much. Okay, so little smushy thread. When I have leftover thread, I just kind of keep it in a little ball and then I'll put it on something. Anything will do. Sometimes a little fabric project or in my journals. This is a page, and you'll see a lot of these in here as well. As I mentioned, book pages. And they're books that I have already removed pages from and made journals out of. And so these are leftover pages from those other projects. And this happened to be an architecture book, interior design and architecture. And I was studying interior design and practiced interior design for several years. And I had these books on my shelf, and they were I just didn't read them anymore. They're not real. How do I describe it? I felt that the books themselves were cold. Lots of black and white images, lots of severe, sort of mid-century, buildings. And but what I found is once I separated the pages, I started to just appreciate the images on their own. And this is one of the things I love about taking books apart, is sometimes a whole book can be I don't know how to say it, but it's almost like the pages get kind of lost in a book. They all seem to be the same. But once you start taking them apart and adding them to other pages, you really do appreciate their individuality. And I love that. That's one of the things I love about taking books apart. And again, here is a beautiful page from that brochure I was telling you about, from that home store. And just gorgeous. So all I did was add a sticker here, but some of these pages I haven't even written on. They're just, they're lovely on their own. These pink drakes look inviting. Cheers. And this was my grandma's birthday, honoring grandma's birthday in memoriam at my altar. Flowers, candles, card readings, and a sniff of brandy. I didn't taste any of the brandy, but I put it out for her. And actually it was sherry that she liked. She didn't really drink much, but sherry, and she would have that once in a while. But all I had was brandy, so I put that out on my altar. Thank you, Grandma, for your divine guidance. So sometimes I put little things that I might have bought. And again, I add some of my Oracle cards and just photocopies, and then do a little write-up. I like to do this once in a while because when I flip through a journal, I'll see, oh yes, that's from my Forest Creatures deck. And it just, writing what the guide says, this one just kind of keeps me connected to my decks. Confidence, the boar and pumpkin. Oh, and here's a little quote from a book I was reading, The Night Circus. People wear their pasts. People wear their pasts. The past sticks to them like powdered sugar on your fingers after eating sweets. And that was the character Widget in The Night Circus. The past is always there. I love that. I just had to sometimes like to put good quotes in these kind of journals. Bukowski quote. This was from this is also from that same architecture book, and I just added a cutout here, and I'm turning it a little bit just so you can get an idea. And as I mentioned, black and white images. This was a store, it's an art store actually, and I put the receipt for my art supplies in here. Little doodle that I did on some photograph paper, some receipts. I had my bracelet repaired, and I kept the receipt for that. Oh, come on. You go, you fit in there. There we go. A little tuck here for some journaling in the window. Here we got the coyote in the window. Love that. And it's just another card from the same deck. This was an interior design book. I've used this book. I tore out a lot of pages to use that book as a, I'll show you. This is the book. And I've obviously painted the cover, but this is a altered art book used as an art journal. So one day I will do a flip through of that. It's a long ways from finished. It's work in progress. But these pages, really nice thick paper, and some of the pages were really pretty. So they make a nice complement to a junk journal. More notes on the book I was reading. This is some floral paper wrap. Little drawings. This was a little giveaway that I won from Alive from Dee Dee. It's so sweet. I love that. A nice little fall ephemera. Some stuff, some notes, perfume. There's another one of those book pages. Just a little piece of cardstock from I love that. Isn't it gorgeous? I use these for, they're on the covers of scrapbook paper collections. The actual papers inside will be on the cover in the strips and squares. And I will often, once the pad is finished and you've got the cover left, just cut them up into pieces and use them as bookmarks or whatever else. No, I don't remember where that was. It was stuck somewhere. Oh, it was stuck here. Right. This paper, I don't even know. I think I've had this for a long time. It was like some sort of typing paper, but very thin. So no, it's just like doodles, magazine pages. This is, I found some old ephemera. I'll show you as I go through here. But this is an old warranty piece, or a piece of something from that I found at the bottom of a box from a camcorder from the 90s that we used way back in the day to do family videos, which I've put all of those tapes onto DVD for the kids. But I thought to myself, well, what do you do with these? You know, the paper is actually quite nice. It's quite thick. And I found like manuals and all kinds of stuff. So I'm finding ways to use that ephemera. And it's also kind of interesting because it's vintage, right? It's vintage, and also from a product that we used to use. It's more of that deck. Oh, more of Dee Dee's ephemera. So cute. I wouldn't be surprised if I tucked that into a traveler's notebook, plastic sleeve that those notebooks come out of. I wouldn't be surprised if Dee Dee made these herself. They look like, or maybe she colored them, but she's such an incredible artist. And this is some Chinese food ephemera. I think we had Chinese food on New Year's Eve or something. Or no, it must have been earlier. Anyhow. So after the fact, I just recently added these tabs because the whole thing was just kind of, I was sort of working all over the place, but mostly October was here and November started around there. Where are we? Yeah, so now we're on November 27th here. I'm just writing about the days shortening. A little bit of scrappy painty paper. Little quote from another book I was reading. This is actually a photocopy of a letter that someone wrote my grandmother way back. Now, unfortunately, the year isn't on it, but I'm guessing it was around in the 60s. So I thought, well, I'll just put a photocopy of it and put it in my journal. I have some ephemera of my grandmother's, paper ephemera, that is, a lot of it's falling apart. So the original pieces, I haven't done anything with. I've just kind of left them alone because they're very, you know, they might just crumble at the touch. Winter Grimoire prompts. I think I saw that on Molly Roberts. Yeah, I think it was Molly Roberts. Little coloring page that was unfinished. I love to put it, and it's another example of separating pages from a book can all of a sudden you sort of appreciate it more. And I find with coloring books, especially this particular coloring book, can be a little bit overwhelming. You get sort of this, you know, this thick book and you're like, oh gosh, where do I start? But I tear pages out of those kind of books and just put them randomly in my journals, and then I will find myself just doodling the color in. And once you start putting the color in, it kind of inspires you to continue. But I find for myself, when I come to a page like this in a big thick book, I'm a bit overwhelmed, so I just end up not doing anything. So this works quite well for me. So in my journals you will see a little bit of coloring, and again, just some products. And I think around this time I had gotten new boots, cowboy boots, for my birthday. So, and I have, this is a photocopy from a book that I have, it's a pinup girls book, and I'm thinking I'd love to do something with that journal wise. I haven't decided what yet. It's on my shelf with all the books that in the future I would like to do something with. So now we're kind of heading into January. Happy New Year 2026. This is the other side of that Sony paper. Khalil Gibran quote that sort of resonated with me that day. And again, this is from that interior design book that I was showing you, this page. I just added some map paper to it. Here's a little tuck spot, some ephemera. And again, this is also from, this paper is from that same camcorder manuals. I think it's a page from the manual that I had found at the bottom of a box, an old box of my photographs and things. This is a little note I wrote. I started a new story, a novella, and it's a work in progress, but my main character, I just made sort of some notes about her. And I like to come across this page because currently I haven't been writing in it. I've let it sit for a while, and I need to get back to it. I really want to finish this. It's called Past Tense. I love the title, and I have this sort of rough little sketch that I did of her, of how I sort of picture her looking. Well, of course, it's not very good, but she looks more complete in my mind, of course. Thea is her name. So yes, work in progress in my writing. Another new book that I'm hoping that I will publish that by the fall. And it's not a full-length novel, so it's going to be a little bit quicker. This is more of that architecture page, and again, like, look how interesting that page is. It's very graphic. Of course, I did add this sticker, but this is all that page. It's just very interesting. But again, I found the book itself just, I was never going to it for inspiration or anything. It was just so cold. More of the home decor brochure pages. Again, you know, I don't do much to them. Here's a little project I watched Janet Nash on her channel. She did this little thing where you create little arty frames. And so that was kind of fun. I put a few of them in this journal. Just some doodling, magazine image. Floral paper with some stickers. A little more of that Oracle deck. This, for some reason, I guess it didn't copy the whole way, but I thought, well, I'll just use it anyway. Why not? Just more things, stickers off products. And just kind of little notes on what I've been doing that month. More interior design pages. And again, here's another little mini frame, arty frame. And I just took my leftover painty papers and used little pieces of them. And then you just tear open the opening. And look at this little puppy. Now this little puppy's in the frame. I love that. So cute. And then I think my husband had got me these packages of stickers and ephemera from Amazon. Oh my gosh, they're so pretty. So I kind of started to fill this book with little stickers here and there, you'll see. So this was something I bought. I don't remember. It might have been a candle. Put a little note in here. Love wins. This was a breakfast tea from our New Year's Day breakfast. Now we're into February. And some ephemera. And this was the card I bought my husband for Valentine's Day. And this little paper came with the card, so I thought I'd keep that. And then this is the envelope from his card, and it had this beautiful lining. And then on the inside, this was blank, so I just added these images, scrapbook paper and book paper from Alice in Wonderland. I could still do more here if I wanted. And then this is some of that giveaway from Dee Dee, gorgeous stickers. Another one of the little frames. And I love this paper. And I did a bit of journaling on this side that you of course see through. And you see her through the page. Isn't that beautiful? I love this picture. It's from an old magazine. Now now we are into February. We were already into February here, but I couldn't put the tag on the little index card thing. These are from old file folders, I think, or a book, or a box. Oh yeah, I took a box apart and I had these little tabs. Right, just some magazine stuff. One kind word can warm 3 winter months. Here's a few more of those little frames. And I've got a little tiny image of Diane Keaton, but that's her handwriting as well in there. And that was just from a magazine that I had bought from Feel Free. And she was featured in the very first edition, which I had bought. And so I thought, oh, this is perfect little size for that. A little vintage Valentine's, and oh, this is, my son sent me Valentine's flowers. It was so beautiful, and they arrived on the doorstep. And he wrote a really beautiful message here, and so I just tucked it in. What I should do is take a picture, or I have a picture of the flowers, so I should print it on my little Canon and put them here, or the picture of them here, or on here maybe. It'd be cute. So that was nice. Little journaling spot. And here, just I've been going through some that photo box, and remember these when you'd go get reprints of your photos back in the day when you had to go to the photo store to do it, and Color Fast is the name of the place, and I found this in the bottom in the box as well, and oh, it's just lovely. So I use it as a little tuck, some wrapping paper, another one of those frames from a magazine picture here. Design, this is part of that design book page. Really nice, also that very nice paper. And some sticky notes that I, from sticky notebook that I bought a few years ago with Frida. All of them have the Frida in the palette, so pretty. And I'm finished those now, those are the last of them. Little doodle, little fabric paper doodle thing that I made. I'm not sure what I'm doing with that, but it's kind of pretty just the way it is. Oh, there's that little cowgirl again. I'll lasso your ass. Old paper bag, as you can see. Winter pleasures. There's been a note of what we did and what we've been doing on the weekend. Beach walk. I made some cornbread in February, and I put this, I got the recipe online. Not one of my recipe books in my kitchen had a cornbread recipe. It was really weird. I went through all my books. I'm like, you can't be serious. So I looked it up and I found this one. It's one of the easiest things to make, so that wasn't hard to find a recipe, but I thought, well, I'll put it in here, and then if I want to make it again, I will. So, and then again, that's from that brochure, and I'm not even doing anything with this picture. It's just so pretty. Love it. More of that. Architecture book. We watched that movie, Sentimental Value. It's a Swedish movie, and I think it might be up for some Oscar awards. And I put a quote in here that kind of resonated. The house missed his heaviness. It missed his movements, the sounds he made. The house was emptied of their noises. Yeah. It's told from the young character's perspective when she was young and her parents separated and her dad moved out. I just thought it was very, very touching. And sort of the impact of our homes, you know, and houses, what do they listen to, and the soul of a house and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, it was a good movie, a very good movie. And again, this is just sort of that thin paper, so I like to add stuff to kind of build the strength of the paper a bit. And this is a little tea bag thing that I made, and you can see the die here, and I sewed on it. I just added these papers to the back just to strengthen it a little bit because it's kind of fragile. So I can always take this out and use it somewhere else if I want. Here's the Panasonic. I think this was like another one of the stereo. This paper is so nice, honestly. And it's like, well, I'm not going to throw it away. So I just made the tuck. The care instructions for my flowers. And more design, home design book pages. Some product ephemera, the warning on a space heater, which I have on in my studio right now. My room is so big and it gets so cold in here. I was building a fire for a few times, which I absolutely love, but my husband talked me into, he said, you know what you really need is just a portable heater you can turn on. I'm like, no, I kept resisting, thinking, no, but I love my fire. He's like, trust me, you want to. And you want to have one, and it's made a big difference. It's so cozy. But yeah, I thought this was, I didn't want to leave it on the cord, so I thought, well, I'll just put it right in my book. And just some products I bought, some markers. This came from packaging on some old canvases that I had moved from Edmonton to Vancouver. And I had just recently opened them, so I'm actually just writing about that on the blog and a little bit, and I haven't published it yet though. Again, this is also from the packaging on the canvas. What's in here? Just some scrap. The other side, or a different coloring page, I believe. And here is the letter that I was talking about. It just says, Tuesday evening. That's all it says. Dear Georgina. And the writing is very familiar. It almost looks like my mother's writing, so I'm thinking this was a relative. So anyway, I think that's kind of neat. And just a doodle page. Now we're into March. Some napkins. Bought some new sheets for the bed. Love buying new sheets. A tarot card, the Muse Tarot. It's a magazine page. What's in here? Anything? Oh. Soar, spread your wings. I love putting little messages in the tea bag covers. Some books that I bought at a fundraiser. So excited. Another, aren't these gorgeous? Another tarot card. Book page. More of the architecture book. This is a picture I found in one of my photograph boxes of my grandmother on the left and her sister. And I thought, you know what, this has to go in a journal. I have some photocopies of this, and I've used this image in a few different projects, but I've never put it in like a junk journal. And this is actually an original photo. The other ones are all photocopies, so that's really lovely. And that picture was taken in White Rock, BC. And I believe that's the pier in the background, and that is the train station. So that's really lovely picture. And lots of stickers and ephemera here. That's just an old piece of, or a photocopy that I had laying around of some scrapbook bookmark that I had made. It's so beautiful. Another one of these tea bags. So I think now, I haven't really journaled here. I just put a few pieces of ephemera here and there. And that's from a box that a product that I just bought at HomeSense. And the box is so pretty. I took it apart and used little pieces of it here and there. So yeah, lots more room. Well, not lots. I'm thinking I'll be finished this by the end of March. I'm hoping, because I'm kind of getting over it now. Oh, look, that came right off. Aw. Okay. So yeah, a little more room here. And a little tuck here. I found this picture of myself many years ago. And I thought, well, I guess I'll just, for nostalgic sake, just put it in here. And they say that you don't like pictures of yourself when you see them at the time, but decades later you look back and go, wow, I like that picture. I was so young. And it's true. Okay, so that is my fall to spring. And you'll notice that December isn't in here because I had a separate journal for December. I did a December daily, which I will do a flip through of that in probably next, like when it comes back to Christmas time, just for fun. So that's how. Thank you so much for joining me. I just have something new I want to show you that I've started, and it's just so cute and fun. I wanted to share real quick. This was a gift bag, and my daughter-in-law told me, she said, you know what, I know you're gonna do something with this, it's so pretty. And I'm like, yeah, that's gorgeous. So I've kind of made this into, like I say, I just started it. It's very squishy, and I hand stitched 3 signatures in. And it is, if you know Tandy Art on YouTube, oh, she's so fun. And this is all inspired by Tandy Art. She's really into stars and rainbows and little wings on little big-headed girls with big eyes. And so I really would like to buy, she actually sells some books on Amazon that you can, like the books, you can actually cut out pieces and put on your journal, which I probably will get. But also it's kind of fun to try to do it yourself, just to practice and try something new. So, and of course you have your own style. Even if you're inspired by someone else, like this doesn't look at all like anything she does here. My stars don't look at all like hers. So, but anyway, that's where the inspiration came from. So what I'm trying to do with this is make it into, I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to call it an inner child book, but maybe it's going to be like a happy place to go when I'm feeling blue. I can just go, oh, you know what? Let's go to my happy birthday journal. Maybe I'll call it that. So we'll just do a really quick flip. I haven't done much in here. I did do a few of these little strips. And there's some coloring book pages and art pages. I got this scrapbook at the thrift store for a whole big pack for $4, and it's very, very nice paper. And then just plain paper. Oh, look. And I kept all these little paper doll things from the Mary Engelbrett magazines from way back. So I think that's suitable in here. A little happy. I just gotta see. I feel like this isn't running. I'm gonna stop here and check my phone.